All right. So, Estrella, I am here and you're here too, but we the recording isn't so good with the video, but that's all right because we're both here, and that's what counts.
Yes.
But I do appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
I did one like this a little bit ago. It is interesting, kind of just like just being here. But I know that you're here. It is very funny. I kind of like doing it like this. It's like I know that you are here, but I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm like a ghost
Yeah,
right
exactly. Yes.
now.
No, but it's good. We're breaking the norm.
Yeah.
I wanted to start here though. How do you describe Mintfield's music in your own words?
Um, like I feel like that changes throughout the years because like I feel like as a musician and even now it's like difficult just to put into words um like sound. But I think that now it's like probably ethereal music, kind of like ethereal rock music. Yeah, something like that.
Now, for those much like myself that are not like really familiar with that term, what exactly does that mean to you?
Like, I mean, I don't know, like dreamy music, kind of. Yeah, I don't know, it's difficult, it's very difficult to describe like my own music, to be honest.
Yeah, it's always hard to. I mean, because you can't really fully describe art in any sense besides what it is. So
Yeah.
this is not a new format. I like that it's open ended. It's open to interpretation with that.
Yeah, exactly. That's also another thing. Like I like people to be able to interpret our music as whatever they want to,
Mhm.
especially because I know that a lot of the Mintfield listeners don't speak Spanish, and most of the lyrics, I mean, the majority of the lyrics are in Spanish, and I feel like that also, I mean, it doesn't matter if you can't understand the words, it's just part of the music, and that's part of it as well.
Which is great. It's like, yeah, maybe you don't understand it fully, but you enjoy it, and
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
important part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's important that you enjoy the music. A lot of people forget about that. But this is a very you need to enjoy it. That's it. Simple
Yeah.
as that. But what or who were some of your earliest influences within music? Like who did you look towards? Like, oh, I really like that sound, or those people.
Yeah, I've been always been really, really into Cocteau Twins. Like that's like a huge inspo for me, especially like in the vocals are really like inspiring to me. And also like coming back to what I said, like it doesn't matter if you can't understand the lyrics. Like I also love that about Cocteau Twins. Like I love how they are like making up words that doesn't mean anything, but it's just another part of the sound, and it's just another layer of sound, and I love that. And I mean, I also love like Sonic Youth, like just a lot of like 90s bands have always inspired me, like My Bloody Valentine and Lush and all of that, like shoegazy, post rock as well, like 90s bands have always inspired me.
That's good. Those are some good influences you pulled out of there.
Yeah.
I like them. So I mean, like, what were you interested in music kind of on the outskirts of it, like at an early young age, or was this like all at once everything just came to you like, oh my gosh, I'm really interested in music itself?
Yeah, I mean, it really was at a young age. I didn't start playing guitar super young. I was like 16 or 17 when I started. Like my introduction to music was more like as a fan, you know, like I was like just a fan of music. And yeah, but I was like very interested in music as a very young teenager.
I mean, that's I say this all the time on this podcast, but it's a crucial age, kind of like within your teens to get into, because I feel like once you're in your teens, you're like, yes, this is the music that I like, and it's very like crucial. And even if you
Yeah.
stray away from those influences, it's still there. Like, oh yeah, I used to put on Sonic Youth or whatever. Those things stay with you once you start expanding your own and kind of finding what you like in music and not just what is around you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I feel like especially when you're a teenager and even more with music, like that kind of identifies like what person you want to be. I feel like, yeah, like for me, like liking these bands as a young age, I felt like, okay, this is who I am, like like I love, I don't know, like I was very inspired by the 90s. And it was when I was like uh 16 or 17, I remember that the 90s were like on trend, kind of like on Tumblr, and like it was like that era. So that made me feel like, mm, I don't know, like that made me knew more myself, kind of.
Sure. There's more ways to express or kind of dig out what your interests are and who you are.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Very important. um at what age you said it was around 16 that you're like, all right, I'm gonna start making music myself?
Yeah, I mean, I started, like I have always sing, like since I was like 5 years old. Like I singing has always been a huge thing in my life, and it's like the most important thing for me. And so I always did that. And then I remember like being super young, like a kid, and just write things and sing, and like not like proper songs, of course, because I was like 7 or something, but like I felt like the music was already inside me, kind of. And then when this era of liking bands, going to shows and everything, like that's when I started wanting to play the guitar. And then yeah, like that was very quick, actually. Like I learned, like I said, when I was like 16, 17. And then I started the band when I was 19 or 18. I can't remember now. But
Wow,
yeah,
I'm really really soon after learning the
exactly. It
guitar.
was, yeah. Like I didn't think about it a lot, which I am very grateful now that I did that, because now I overthink things a lot. And at that age, I was just like, I don't know, like just experimenting things and not thinking about it too much. And that's how it happened. Like just,
on
yeah,
on a whim, very very free, not nothing. You had nothing to lose.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I wasn't expecting anything as well. So yeah.
Which is all even better. It's like, I'm gonna do this however I want to do it, and I'm not expecting anything from it, so that like really frees you up to really do whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Yes.
A very important place to be.
Yeah. 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 I feel very grateful about my uh, young Estrella.
She's crucial.
Yeah.
But were you born in raised in Tijuana? Is that where you spent your youth?
Yeah. Yeah. I was born and raised in Tijuana, nearby the beach.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good
Yeah.
place to be.
Yeah, it was.
What was the music scene like when you first started going to shows and whatnot? Was there a lot of people playing like around these venues and whatnot? Or
I mean, not not a lot of venues. Like there was only one venue in Tijuana. Like Tijuana is really small, but the good thing is that San Diego is really close. So I used to go to shows to San Diego most of the time. Like yeah, just that was really good about like living in the border, because I could like just go to San Diego and like see bands and come back to Tijuana. And yeah, I mean, there has always been like a music scene in Tijuana, and it's very eclectic. Like there's a lot of different genres and people, like creative uh, people in Tijuana. But the only bad thing is like there are not a lot of spaces. Like that's a common thing in Mexico. Like there's a lot of bands and but not a lot of support. And there's not a lot of like venues or like a yeah, just proper venues to tour, or like it's more difficult than in the US. That is just everything more I don't know, like there for you to play, and just you can go to like a venue and they will have like this good equipment for you to play, and here's just like your amps and that's it, like there's I don't know, but that was also cool. Like but yeah, there was a scene, and but I mostly went to shows in San Diego, to be honest.
it's good. You got the best of both worlds right there. It seems like
Yeah, that was really cool actually, because a lot of bands that I wanted to see didn't came to Mexico, so just being by the border, I could go see them, and that was like super cool.
I mean, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Technically going to another country to go see a show
Yeah.
just for
Now
one
that
show.
yeah, exactly. Sounds crazy, but it's just, I mean, that's the life in Tijuana. That's how it is.
It's just how it is.
Yeah.
By the beach, those are the rules.
Yeah.
So I mean, relatively young, you're starting to get into your own music, but and was it originally Mintfield was the first band that you were a part of?
Yeah, that was my first and only band that I've been.
So it's a good one to be a part of. I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
Where did the name stem from?
Um, it was something very silly. Like I remember, like I was really into a mint color, and just having a face of like I love mint, and like the color, not like the actual plant. And yeah, like it doesn't have like a very interesting background, that name. It's just like it came out of nowhere, and now it's like it's forever.
It's a good name to have forever. It's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. It's catchy.
Oh, I have never thought of that. It's because it's difficult, like, because it's in English, and we have a lot of fans here in Mexico, and everybody like just pronounce it differently. So it's just, I don't know, but it is what it is, like.
How is it most commonly pronounced in Spanish?
I don't know, like, I don't know why a lot of people pronounce it like minefield. I don't know why. Here in Mexico, it's super strange. Like, I don't see why, because I feel like even mint is more easy to pronunciate than mind if you
Sure.
speak Spanish. I don't know. And yeah, just like that, or yeah, I don't know. Like, just sometimes they pronounce it like, I don't know, like
Just
weird.
just just differently from how it's said. But I mean, that's not important. The important thing is that they're coming out to the shows and they're listening to it. And
Yeah,
they know
of
about it.
course.
That's
Of course, of course. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
yeah, that's crucial. But it is mint, but whatever. If you like the music, then that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So I mean, so when you guys started playing shows, were you going up to San Diego to do this, or were you staying in Tijuana to do this as well, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, a little bit of both. We mainly play in Tijuana, and because like a lot of people didn't knew us in San Diego, of course, like we had more friends here in Tijuana, and we knew more of the scene in Tijuana. But then I don't know how we played some shows in San Diego. But yeah, it was like both. Because yeah, it's just because Tijuana is like in a very strange geographic spot. So you're not in Mexico. I mean, you're in Mexico, but you're not actually in Mexico. You're more near the US. So that's how it is, I guess. Like there's
Sure.
not much. Like if we wanted to play in Mexico, it was like way more expensive because we needed to fly, and yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole other thing going way,
Mhm.
like to like Mexico City. I mean, that's way far away than just like San Diego. That's right there.
Yeah, exactly. It's super far away.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How does performing in Mexico and performing in America differ, or if there even is a difference?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of differences. I feel like especially the crowd in Mexico, like now that we've been like this year we've been playing way more than these past 2 years because of the pandemic. So um I feel like people in Mexico get super excited and they scream a lot. Like they scream a lot. And it's weird for us because I mean, we have some songs that are like a high tempo, like and are like, I don't know, like more rock kind of. But a lot of the set is very calm and it's just more and I don't know why I feel like here people get super excited. It's like you just turn on a distortion and people are gonna scream and they're gonna be super excited. And that's one thing about here. And in the States, I feel like people are more like chill and they're like more there to listen and just, I mean, it depends on the crowd, of course, because other thing that happens a lot in our shows is that we have like a huge amount of our fans in the States are like Chicano people, like, like, so they act the same way as here in Mexico. So it's like both words in a
Colliding
exactly. Yeah.
both the different kinds of styles, if you will, of
Exactly. Yeah.
audience kind of
Which is
merging
really
together.
interesting because there's one thing that people do here in Mexico, like, like when an artist ends a show, they always scream otra, which is another one, another one, another one. That's a thing here in Mexico. And in our shows, and it's like this happened in our show in LA, our last show. So there was like half Chicano and half like just American people. And um, people like started screaming otra. And I was like, that's so weird. Like I couldn't imagine like just what the other people are thinking, like what are they saying, And yeah, so that's really interesting and it's very funny.
that
um
that is a very interesting mixture, but I mean, a good group of people to be doing it. You're like, all right, this is great. This is kind of, again, like the best of both worlds right now.
yeah. Yeah. And another thing that I really like about being in the States, it's something that I was saying earlier as well, that there's not like infrastructure here in Mexico of like good venues with good sound. And I feel like in the States, that's something that it's more like common, like you go to a city, even if it's a small town, like the venue is gonna be like, they have a proper equipment and you're gonna have a proper sound check and just everything's gonna be like more professional, you know, and here's just like the kind of like DIY some of the times. If you're here in Mexico City, it's different because it's a huge city and we have tons of venues, but if you go outside the city, it's gonna be super completely different.
Do you feel like there's a language barrier when you perform in non-Spanish speaking countries?
I don't think so, honestly. Like I feel no, like I feel like people that like Mintfield most of the times they really, and I don't mind this. I think it's okay because I feel like I listen to music, I sometimes don't listen to the lyrics, and that's just how I listen to music. Like I just yeah, like I'm just listening to the music, you know, and I feel like people who like Mintfield do that as well most of the time. So I feel like there's not yeah, like a language barrier like that. I feel like that's not something that happens.
The music transcends the barrier.
Yeah, I think so. Like there's first the feeling, then the language, you know. Yeah.
So I mean, so going back to the earlier days, you're kind of bouncing between San Diego and Mexico.
Yes.
Wow, I mean that is so interesting. I feel like it kind of gets lost in the shuffle of like, yeah, like it is technically you're going to a different country to be performing. So you were just touring, I mean, early on international shows.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, but it wasn't like, I don't know, like I feel like that's just something very normal in Tijuana. Like even people sometimes say like, what's good about Tijuana? And everybody says San Diego, you know, it's just like, it's not, I don't know, like that's just what is usual there. And yeah, like I feel like that was just like the only opportunities we had to play in another places. So that's what we did.
Yeah, that's what had to be done. You're going from the
Yeah.
beach to the other beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
And originally it was a three-piece, even at that stage, whatever year we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I mean, it has always been a three-piece. We have played sometimes as, I mean, right now, these past shows we've been playing as a duo because we have different sets right now. Like this is, well, but this is like a very new phase of Mintfield. But in our very first years, it was always a three-piece. Yeah.
But now you're doing something new, which is good. You got to keep it fresh for yourself as well. It's
Yeah,
important.
exactly. Like right now we have our show as a three-piece that is like drums, guitar, and bass vocals. And now we're playing some shows here in Mexico as a duo, which is like with a drum machine and guitar, bass, synth, and vocals. Which is
Awesome.
really cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to have two different sets, to be honest. Like I feel like you said, it's really refreshing, and yeah, it's cool. It's cool to have two different sets.
Yeah, it's good to, I mean, because it seems like you guys are just prepared for anything. You're like, whatever, two,
Yeah.
three, two. I mean, it's gonna be difficult with just one person, but yeah, I mean, you guys will get there. You guys are just slowly inching over to that,
Yeah. Yeah,
just in case.
yeah.
Do you ever feel nervous on stage?
Sometimes, yeah. It's crazy because I felt like before the pandemic, like the nervous have like I don't know, I feel like I wasn't getting nervous because we were playing a lot. And now that everything has come back, like we did a tour in the US in March and April, and it was just like it was the first time like playing again, you know, like because I felt like I lost track of how it is like to tour and perform and to have to like, I don't know, you when you're performing, you're in a very like vulnerable space, you
Place,
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
place.
sure.
So I forget that, you know. So yeah, I get nervous.
Is it becoming more normal now? Do you feel like you've kind of surpassed, like, okay, like it's new again, but you're kind of
Yeah,
getting into the feel?
yeah, I feel like that happens with everything. When once you start doing it a lot, like that come like that just passes, you know. And but I don't know, I feel like it depends. If there's like this huge crowd, I will get nervous for sure. Like there's no way I'm not gonna get nervous.
You're like, yep, nope, this is, yeah, I was expecting this turnout. Yep. You're just
Yeah,
totally just rolling with it.
yeah.
When you first came back, what was that first show like? The very first one since the pandemic. How did you feel? I mean, like, besides nerves, were you excited to do it as well, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I was really excited. I think our first show, I mean proper show, was in Denver, and that was the first show of the tour that I was mentioning. And I was super nervous. I'm nervous and also like tired because we drove from LA to Denver. Like that took us 2 days, so we were like super tired.
Yeah,
And
that's a long ways away.
yeah. It was. I think it took us like I don't know. It was like 11 hours one day, and then the next like 12 hours, something like that. Like crazy drive. It was fun though, but it was just a lot. And but yeah, I was really excited, and Denver is amazing. Like I love that city, and it was great. It was a very good show. Yeah,
Colorado,
Colorado is
good
great.
state.
Yeah, good state.
Are you ever surprised by the reaction of people in these, like, like, I mean, outside of California and in Mexico, obviously, but in these, like, more rural states, if you will?
Yeah, I mean Denver, I think it's kind of like it's this super cool city, and I feel like that's the state is cool. Like it's liberal and it's cool in a way, but I feel like it's surrounded by these like more conservative states, and just yeah, like I just get shocked sometimes because I feel like once you get on the road in the United States, like you get to know like how like the US works, like you see these two faces of, like I feel like as outsiders, like we feel like the US is like in New York and LA, and it's just not like that. That's just two cities and that's it, and those cities are great, but there's also like this another, like, I mean, I wouldn't say like dark side of the US or whatever, but it's just different. And yeah, like we've played in some cities that are like, I don't understand why we're playing here, like we because like when you're touring, you have to go through to small towns to get to another city. So we played like in Salt Lake City and in Fort Collins, Colorado. There is like a college town, and there's not a lot of people that are really interested in music. There's like, or probably there is, but it's just like a super small town. But I think it's also cool to go to these places, and also like, I don't know, I feel like it's important to not centralize everything in the huge cities and play it in, because like, of course there's people there that love music, but they don't have a lot of opportunities to go see bands or whatever, and I feel like that's important. So but I do get shocked when I go to these other cities, and it's like, wow, like this is not what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, and it's like there's different, and I'm assuming you felt this is a different feeling when it's like a smaller town, and you're like, wow, like this is different than New York or
Yeah,
San Diego or LA or all
yeah,
these different places. You
yeah,
go,
for sure.
yeah, or even different than Salt Lake or Boulder, like or I'm sorry, not Boulder, Denver rather. like you said
Mhm.
before, there's like different kind of tiers in, which is interesting to feel like, oh, okay, this is definitely like way just a different feeling,
Yeah,
vibe, if you will.
yeah, for sure. And I think that's cool as well, like I said, I think it's important to play it in all these different places. Like I feel like that happens as well here in Mexico. Like I feel like people are very, like if there's a band, they come here to Mexico City and that's the only place they're gonna play. And like every time we go and play to another small town, to other small yeah, like towns,
Right.
um I feel like it's, I don't know, like I remember like when I was growing in Tijuana, like growing up in Tijuana, like there weren't a lot of bands that play there. And I remember like once Beach Fossils play in Tijuana, like in 2011 or something like that. And that was super cool, because of course, like there was this small scene that I was part of, and I feel like everybody was super excited, to see something fresh and new and just experience seeing live music. And I feel like a lot of people don't have that opportunity, and that's why it's important to play everywhere, you know?
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, the next Mintfield tour is going to be just all small towns in the US, right? Very, very small towns.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's not on me actually, but I think I
I
don't know.
think
I'm
I
open.
okay, so maybe not the next one, but the one after that, then it's all really, really small towns like Dayton, Ohio, stuff like that.
I don't know, but I'm open to play whatever.
What makes a good performance in your eyes? If you could pick out some key aspects of like what makes one like really, really good.
um, I mean, of course, it's the sound, as like the sound. It's like the most important thing to me when I'm seeing a show. And I know that sometimes that's not on the performance hands, that's also the sound engineer. And I also love the outfits, like that's also like a thing that I think it's really important. And um yeah, I mean, also I feel like if you if you're like if the performing is projecting this image of feeling like very secure about himself or herself, I feel like that's also really important, because that's also as a like um I don't know, I feel like when you're seeing a show and the like performer seems like he's very like secure, that also like I feel like that also mm, I don't
Confidence is key. It's like
yes,
you want to see that. You want to see that they're like, yes, I'm here and I'm present, right?
exactly. I feel like that also makes like this whole space, like the audience and the performer, like to get like it's just very important to feel like a good environment in this show.
And a connection between
Like
you and in the
exactly,
audience, right?
exactly. Like when, because like sometimes you see a performer and there's like this barrier of, I don't know. I feel like it's something that you can just feel, like
Maybe
it's
even like a super huge physical barrier as well can also do
mm,
that. Like there's just,
yeah,
you guys are a million miles away. You don't want that. You want to be like in tune with everybody else, even if they are viewing it, or
yeah,
especially with your band members.
yeah, of course. I also feel like that depends on the music, like if,
Sure.
because sometimes like it can be like an ambient show and the person is just not talking anything and the show can be amazing. Like it really, I remember like I saw Hope Sandoval
Hmm.
in Desert Days, and you couldn't see her, like she was always like in the dark, like the show was always a super, yeah, it was dark and you couldn't see her, and it still was amazing. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it really depends on the music.
Especially Hope Sandoval's. I mean, that's Mazzy Star. Yes,
Yes,
that's one of the exceptions to the rule. She can do whatever
yeah,
she wants. It's going to
exactly,
be great.
exactly.
Um, Mintfield has been around since like what 2015 ish, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Wow. I mean, that's a good chunk of time there.
Yeah, yeah.
Does it feel the same now as it did then when you started it?
No, no, not at all. I
It
feel like it's because I don't know, like I feel like I had different bandmates at that time, so the vibe was different, and I was just very very young, you know, and I was learning to how to play the guitar on, like I was learning how to like write songs, and it was just different, you know, like I feel like now I'm like an adult now, so it's just completely different, and now I perceive music in a different way, and I don't know, like I feel like it's just evolving every time, every year, like it's just evolving. Every album is just different from another. So
that's good. I think that's great. You don't want to just be doing the same thing. You want to constantly expand. I mean, and I keep on hearing about this great duo Mintfield's got, and I'm so excited to see that. You know,
yeah.
I've heard great stuff about it. Really, really
Yeah,
good stuff.
yeah, yeah, and I feel like that's also what keeps interesting the band, because you know, like if we were doing the same thing, probably I will be like super tired of the band, and just maybe I will have another band, you know. And um but yeah, like it's just like I said, it's just evolving.
Yeah. What have you learned after like leading a band for 7 years now? I mean, there's gotta be like, I mean, does it not change the way that you perceive music, but you have like different kind of ideas about it at least?
Yes, yes, I do. Yeah, now that I think 7 years is a lot of time. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I see music like in a completely different way. Like I remember at that time I was like, right now I feel like I'm in a phase of listening to more chill music. And like I said, this new set that is a duo is super chill and it's quiet, and I love that, you know. I love rock music and I love playing loud, but I also love this part of me, and I embrace that part of me. And that's something that probably years back I wouldn't do it, you know, like maybe I wasn't feeling as comfortable with myself doing that. Also, like singing, like I remember in the first Mainfield album, um, like I listening to it now, and sometimes you really can't hear my vocals because they're super in the like super low, because that's what I wanted at that time. Like I wasn't comfortable with my way of singing, you know,
It's
like
like you wanted the music to be up front in your vocals to kind of be following behind it in a way.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it was. And then in our last album, like the newest one, um, I tried to experiment. Sorry, I tried to experiment more with my vocals being a little bit more dry and more upfront, and that's something that keeps evolving, 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 and I love that. You know, like it's just, and then this album is gonna be different, and yeah, like and also like just being like I don't know, like the head of the band or whatever, like that's something that I didn't embrace at the beginning, and I didn't knew that it was, you know, because when I started this band, I wanted to have like a band, you know, like it wasn't just like my solo project or whatever. Like I wanted to, because I love bands and I love um like making songs with other people. Like that's something that I feel like I'm very good at. I love like collaborations with artists. Like I feel like sometimes that's how the best songs come from different people and different minds and different creative perceptions, sorry. And yeah, so that's something that I keeps I keep learning more every time, because now that
Sure,
I
as it unravels, you're like, oh yeah. This is an important part as well, and maybe something that wasn't, you didn't think of being that important or even notice, and it, 7 years ago is now like, oh yeah, I should probably embrace that more.
yeah, exactly.
Very nice. And the next album's gonna be just you singing, right? Like that's how comfortable you are with it now. It's just gonna be all a cappella, just vocals, nothing else.
Actually, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one. It's gonna be great. And that's the final, from a trio to a duo to just you
Just
singing.
vocals, no guitar, not any, just dry vocals.
Yeah, I mean, you are very, very confident in it. Like you are just like, yeah, I got it. It's gonna be
Yes.
interesting. I'm looking forward to that one. Do you use songwriting as a form of just like getting an idea out, or using some emotions that you're feeling at the time to express that in a different way than what would be a more conventional way, if I phrase that correctly?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I feel like that's something that I would say that probably every artist do in their own um,
Way.
way. So yeah, I feel like sometimes even when I'm writing, especially lyrics, like I get to know more about myself. Like sometimes I don't, in my daily life, I don't understand what's happening in my mind sometimes, and I'm just like in a limbo and in my mind. And when I'm writing lyrics, like I feel like it's just like my inner soul saying things to me, important things that I need to keep remember. And yeah, like sometimes I feel like even my lyrics from the first album to the second album to this new album that it's not released yet, but right now I'm saying it, but yeah, there's like this new album, and I feel like sometimes the lyrics are connected to each other. And like there's this, and it's kind of hard for me because sometimes like especially labels, and they want to have like, oh, so what's the story behind this song, and it's like sometimes with the Mintfield songs, probably there's not like a story behind it, it's just like uh,
Just
something that is
maybe like
just
a stream of consciousness, like this is just what I was thinking about at this moment, and then I put it
exactly
to a song.
exactly like that's just how my mind works sometimes,
Right.
especially
I understand that, but like, what does it mean though? Like, where did it come from? That's what we want to know.
it's so hard, like it's really really hard. I mean, of course it has a meaning, like obviously it has a meaning, but what I'm saying is like sometimes it's not like this specific song has this, like, I mean, it depends on songs, but most of the time, like it's like this concept of Mintfield in general, that it's like my inner soul talking to me, kind of.
But what does that mean though? No, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Do you feel like you pull kind of inspiration from your life that you're conscious of, kind of, if you will, like kind of like, I understand where that lyric came from because I was going through this, or I was dealing with that, or this or that or the other.
Yeah, and I feel like that's also like a reminder of what I been through in a specific period of time, like that's kind of what every Mintfield album
signifies. Yeah, it's like this is
Mhm.
this point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Still don't know what it means, but I'm waiting for.
but what it means.
Yeah, but what does it mean? Do you feel like it's important to have different sorts of experiences in terms of just making art? Is that crucial?
What do you mean?
Kind
Like,
of like just, I mean, going through different things or experiencing new things, just kind of gain more creativity through those experiences, if that makes sense.
yeah, for sure. I mean, like that's life experiences are like the most mm, inspiring thing to me. Or yeah, for sure, for sure.
But why?
uh,
What
life, bro.
what usually comes first? Is it lyrics before the music, or music before the lyrics, or kind of just it's all circumstantial, it all depends on the song?
Yeah, I think it's also like it all depends in the song. To be honest, most of the time is the music, and but I am always writing in my daily life, and so I always have like my notebook with um, things that I'm writing. So, and that also mixes in the songs. Like sometimes it's not like the proper lyric, but just things that are in my mind that I write. So yeah, but it depends. It depends.
Mhm. Is there a lyric that you've come across multiple times and tried to work into a song that just it never made it? You're just like, I don't know where I could put this.
Yeah, yeah, of course, tons.
And,
Yeah,
and those will all, you can all listen to all those songs on not the album that's coming out, but the album after that, the acapella one that's just solely what it's based off of. It's just those ones that didn't make it in, that have been sitting there for a while, that's what's
yeah,
gonna make up
of
the
course.
acapella
Yeah,
album.
I'm
Sure.
working on that actually.
It's gonna be really nice. I hear a lot of good things about it. Could any other art form take the place of music in your life for you?
I don't think so. I feel like I've always been like a very artistic person. Like I've always uh, like like drew or paint or like sing, or like art has always been really really close to me, but nothing like music. Like music is the only place that I feel like very very comfortable, and I feel like I can like just like I've tried to paint or whatever, but I could be good at it, but I'm not. It's not something that I. Well, I don't know. Probably I'll change my mind in the future. Who knows? But right now, I feel like no. Like music is the only place that I feel like very very comfortable and happy.
It's good,
Yeah.
especially in the acapella. That's in that realm. You're very very comfortable. That's where you really shine. I've heard that. How was recording your levitation session for levitation in Austin? How was that? I mean, it wasn't recorded in Austin. Let me make that perfectly clear. But for those sessions, how did that feel to get that recorded?
Yeah, it was really, it was like crazy because the location where we recorded, that is el Centro Cultural Otomí, um, is like this amazing space that is very far away from the city.
It looked
So
it looked incredible. And for those who haven't seen it, the video will be, one of the videos will be linked in the description of this video, and please go check that out, because it's just, I mean, the backdrop is just stellar.
yeah, it's 'cause that place is amazing. Seriously, it's amazing. And And it's crazy because it's not like a very touristic spot. Like it looks like it could be, but a lot of
Yeah.
people don't know about that place. So it's good.
And you blew it up. So now everybody knows about it. Everybody's gonna be going there. Nobody can record there anymore. Sheesh.
um, um, but yeah, I mean, it was super special to play there, like because it's just such like an crazy place, and it's super far away from, I mean, it's like 2 hours away from Mexico City, but it's super high up in the mountains, and so we had to plan everything super like super good, because we couldn't forget anything, because there wasn't any of like, you know, like if we forget something, like there wasn't no way to come back. And
Yeah,
you
you're not
know,
gonna go 2 hours to go get a whatever a
yeah,
guitar pick
because
or something.
it's 2 hours, but it's also very like tricky to get there. But we were really lucky, like when we decided to do it there, like we had to like investigate how could we do it there, because it's a like cultural cultural place that is owned by the government,
Mhm.
and owned by this um, community, the
Okay.
Otomi.
I was gonna say company, but community, that's a little bit better.
No, it's not a company, it's a community called Otomies.
Okay.
And and so in that place is where they do the rituals for the community. So it's so magical, that place. And but when we were looking out to like how can we do it there, you know, and it was really crazy that the person that like books that place for, because they use that place for like movies, and you know, to like it's just used by different things. And we knew the person, like Sebastian, he knew the person, so it was really easy, and we just had to like do some paperwork that wasn't that difficult. And yeah, so that's how we did it, and we did it with effort of lots of very good friends that we have, and Levitation that gave us the budget to do it. And yeah, that's the story.
It's an awesome performance. I mean, it is really, really
Yeah,
um
it was really like epic to play there, because I mean,
I
it
mean,
doesn't
I
look.
bet it seemed like, I mean, it's epic to watch it. And again, I fully endorse the people who are listening to this interview, go and watch. There's a video up on YouTube again, which will be linked, and it's just insane. It looks incredible.
Thank you.
Was there a plan B to somewhere to record if that didn't work out?
Yeah, we had some options, but none like this one. Like this one was with like the most epic one, you know, like yeah.
I can see why. Very intense. If you could go back to yourself 7 years ago and give some advice to her, what advice would you give? I mean, like when you're just starting out the band, would you give any advice?
Probably like being more like confident about myself, like maybe because I know I said earlier that I wasn't thinking about, like I wasn't, yeah, like just overthinking. I wasn't overthinking at that time. So but I feel like maybe um I was trying to, I don't know, probably, yeah, like just be more confident about myself, trust more myself, know that what I'm capable of doing, and just, yeah, you know, like, you know, when you're like a teenager and you're just like trying to be cool all the time, it's just like,
Yeah, sure.
you know, like there was no need of doing that, you know.
Yeah, you say drop this shit. Stop being cool. That's not
Mm.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's what you say.
yeah.
That's awesome. Estrella. Did I say it correctly this time?
Estrella.
I was close.
Yeah, it was
Estrella.
so close.
Yes, that was good. I think that was the best one the third time. I really I really do appreciate you coming on. It
Oh,
was
thank you.
absolute pleasure to have you on, but I do like to wrap it up with some promo. So you can find that whole session, the levitation session, on record, which is just
Yeah.
incredible. I couldn't say speak highly enough over it, and I also just can't even speak, it seems like. But in any case, you can find that record at levitation.fm. That's the best place to go and support that for that session, because I know it wasn't cheap to record there, so let's get some money going towards it. And you can find Mintfield's other releases on all streaming platforms. You're everywhere, right?
Yeah. Everywhere. Bandcamp. I think in Bandcamp is the best way to get like or
Support
albums
you directly, right?
and support us directly. Exactly.
You could find the merch and you could buy the digital albums. That's all at mintfield.bandcamp.com. Very crucial that you go and visit that site.
Yes.
Please go do that. And everybody could stay up to date with everything, news, shows, tours, etc. at by following Mintfield on Instagram,
Yeah,
right?
on Instagram. Instagram is the easiest way.
And that's at Mintfield Band on
Uh-huh.
Instagram. And
Yes.
new record, as you mentioned, the real new record for right now. It's
No,
coming out
actually,
soon.
the acapella. No, just kidding. Yeah, there's a new record coming in. I think. Yeah, we're gonna have news pretty soon.
Awesome. So be sure to be following them on Instagram to stay up to date with that news. It's going to be awesome. And then of course we can get to the real nitty gritty of it, as you know, the acapella one, which I'm very stoked on. I've heard lots of good words of it over the course of this last hour. And it's just raving reviews. Did we miss anything?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Awesome.
All
I
right.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Estrella? Yes? Yes. No, that was horrible. That's horrible. I'm sorry. I apologize to you.
Okay. It's okay.
I just can't wrap my head around it. I apologize. But anyways, I do appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna stop recording this. I'll talk to you in a minute, okay?
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.